Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're basically stepping into the role of your personal YouTube strategist. We're going to unpack a complete master plan for launching a highly successful tech channel totally from scratch. Now, if you've ever wanted to break into the tech space but felt held back by a lack of funds or experience, this is absolutely for you. We're looking at a super specific, low-budget blueprint designed specifically for beginners, tailored to really resonate with the massive Indian audience and built to turn absolute zero into a thriving digital asset. Let's get right into it.
All right, so let's anchor ourselves to the core philosophy of our source material. The quote says it all. Focus on creating original, useful content and building a recognizable long-term tech brand, rather than depending only on viral videos. The ultimate goal here isn't fleeting virality, right? Or trying to cheat the algorithm with some cheap clickbait. This strategy is all about methodically building a sustainable, recognizable brand. It's about giving your viewers genuinely useful content that builds real trust over time. Because, let's be honest, luck just isn't a business model. Consistency and value, that's where the magic happens.
And to build that sustainable brand, our blueprint relies on 5 key pillars that will take you all the way from day zero to actual revenue. We'll be covering foundation and branding, content and production rules, packaging and SEO, milestones and growth, and finally, monetization and analytics. Let's jump right into Pillar 1, Foundation and Branding. Look, you can't just pick up a camera and start rambling. The strategy requires you to start by locking in a low-investment tech niche. Think software tutorials, budget smartphone tips, or app reviews. Stuff that absolutely does not require a $3,000 camera setup. From there, you've got to clearly define your target audience, brainstorm at least 20 unique and catchy channel names just to make sure you find that one perfect fit, and establish a professional branding concept right out of the gate. That means a clean logo, a matching banner, consistent colors, specific fonts, the whole shebang. That visual consistency is exactly what separates a random hobby channel from a trusted, authoritative brand. Moving right along to Pillar 2, Content and Production Rules. Get this, before you even hit record, the blueprint mandates brainstorming 50 unique video ideas. Just think about that for a second, 50! And these ideas need high potential for both views and subscribers. Now why 50? Well, creator burnout is literally one of the biggest reasons new channels fail. By having this massive backlog of highly targeted, original concepts ready to go, you completely eliminate that daily panic of wondering what to film today. You are building a content machine here, not just a weekend hobby. The strategy also requires a serious dual approach. You have to develop completely separate, tailored game plans for your long-form videos versus your YouTube Shorts. Think of long-form videos as your deep dives. They build that intense loyalty, trust, and massive watch time. Shorts, on the other hand, they are your top-of-funnel discovery engine, pulling in thousands of new eyeballs in a flash. You really can't treat them the same way. Each demands its own unique style, pacing, and approach. And to make sure all those videos are actually engaging, the blueprint demands a proven script structure. Step 1 is absolutely crucial. You must intentionally engineer your videos to hook the viewer in the very first 5 to 10 seconds. If you don't grab them immediately, maybe with a compelling question, a bold statement, or a visual tease, they're gone. They'll just click away. Once you've got them hooked, step 2 is delivering the value logically and clearly to keep that audience retention graph as flat as possible. Every single second counts.
Now here is a huge relief. You do not need expensive gear to pull this off. The strategy explicitly calls for utilizing affordable equipment and editing apps directly on your smartphone. We want to keep this completely realistic and low budget. Seriously, the phone in your pocket right now probably has a better camera than professional gear did a decade ago. Pair it with a cheap little lapel mic, heck, record in a closet packed with clothes for good audio if you have to, and use a free editing app. That production quality is going to be more than enough to give a beginner tech audience exactly what they're looking for.
All right, let's pivot to Pillar 3, Packaging and SEO. Your content simply won't be found unless you play by strict SEO rules. Especially in the tech niche, people are actively typing in solutions to their problems. So you need to hit the SEO essentials. Optimize your video titles so they're incredibly searchable, pack your descriptions with relevant context, and meticulously research the right keywords and hashtags. This guarantees that when someone in India searches, say, how to speed up a budget Android phone, your video is the one YouTube puts right at the top of their screen. But getting found is only half the battle. Paired with that killer SEO, the strategy emphasizes designing highly clickable thumbnails to maximize audience entry. Your title gets you in the search results, sure, but your thumbnail? That's your digital storefront. That is what actually gets the click. A solid thumbnail needs to be clean, feature your brand colors, and instantly visually communicate what the video is about in a fraction of a second. Because if they don't click, your masterpiece of a video goes entirely unwatched.
That brings us to Pillar 4, milestones and growth.
You really need to operate on a strict, professional timeline here. The blueprint maps this out into 2 major initial phases. First up, by day 30, you need a complete posting calendar. This builds your initial momentum and starts training the algorithm on what your channel is actually about. Then, by day 90, you need to execute a detailed growth roadmap. This 90-day window is super critical for tracking your evolution, seeing what video styles are hitting, and tweaking your strategy. It literally forces you to commit long enough to see real, data-driven results, rather than just throwing in the towel after 2 weeks.
And your overarching target during this whole initial roadmap? Hitting this exact number, your first 1,000 subscribers. Why 1,000? Well, it represents a proven, dedicated community, and it's the magical threshold YouTube requires to start unlocking those powerful monetization features. Earning this organically through genuinely useful content instead of cheap gimmicks proves that your long-term brand has serious legs.
To protect that subscriber growth on your way up, you have to ask yourself, what common mistakes do new tech channels make, and how can they be avoided? The blueprint insists on identifying these pitfalls proactively. We're talking about rookie errors like copying established creators, neglecting to upgrade your audio quality, or just totally ignoring the specific needs of your target audience. By studying these mistakes right out of the gate, you are saving yourself months of wasted effort and stalled growth.
Finally, let's explore Pillar 5, monetization and analytics.
The ultimate goal of this blueprint is turning your brand into a revenue-generating asset with diversified income streams. You really don't want to rely solely on YouTube ads, because those can fluctuate wildly. Instead, the strategy teaches you to actively integrate affiliate marketing from day one. Dropping links to the budget tech or software you're reviewing right in your descriptions. As you grow, you open doors to direct sponsorships or even alternative methods like selling digital guides or consulting. Remember, we're building a real business here, not just a channel.
And to make sure those revenue streams actually scale, you have to track specific YouTube Studio analytics to measure success and adjust your tactics. Please don't just stare at your subscriber count. You need to analyze your click-through rate to see if those thumbnails are doing their job, and you've got to study your audience retention graphs to pinpoint exactly where viewers get bored and bail. Tracking these specific numbers lets you pivot with scientific precision rather than just relying on blind guesswork.
So this leaves us with a final, provocative thought based on everything we've unpacked in this explainer today. You now have the complete, low-budget blueprint. You know exactly how to brand yourself, how to script for retention, how to film entirely on your phone, and how to optimize for search to steadily hit that 1,000-subscriber milestone. It's a rock-solid approach built on providing massive value rather than just waiting to get lucky. So, armed with this roadmap and knowing the barrier to entry has never been lower, what is stopping you from launching your tech channel right now?